Guess who? Hello, 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 y'all. How are you? I'm excited because I'm starving. I'm in my pajamas because I was like, what is a place that I can get drive through? I'm literally in my short shorts and my huge oversized t-shirt. And I still ended up going in somewhere. Can you believe it? I was going to get Panda Express, but I have to run a 5K tonight, and I didn't want it to be so greasy on my stomach. So, you know, for the 19,000th time, I went and got a mini tuna sub at the Jersey Mike's. And I do this quite often, Tracy B, just so you know. If I'm doing something at home or cleaning or just want to have something in the background, I go and watch Tracy B's older videos. I do that with a lot of my YouTube people. But Tracy B has like a bazillion still that I haven't seen that I'm trying to get through. And she was doing an old video, and she was with her BFF, can't remember her name, Kathy? I think it was Kathy. And they were eating Lay's potato chips. And honey, it's all I've thought about it. So when I saw those chips, I said, yes sir and yes ma'am, in the words of Lady T Sensations. That's the chip that we're going to be dining on. So yes, I'm running a 5K in about 3.5 hours. So I want to start eating this so it can digest, if you know what I'm saying. And I thought to myself, and y'all know, that I've got my Diet Mountain Dew. Let's do it. Can we do a thumbnail? I never even end up using those. I always end up using something else. So, mini tuna sub, Lay's, and I thought for today's discussion that we could talk about the many jobs. That's right, the many different jobs that Tyler Ramey has had over the years. Would you like to talk about that? We can. I hope he cut this in half. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. They did. Look at that. Isn't she lovely, folks? It's got tuna, provolone, lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions, salt, and pepper. So I'm going to put this down here as sort of a bib to catch everything. I've got my napkins in the background, and we're just going to get right down to it. Let me try one of these chips. You can't go wrong. I believe the ones they were eating were lightly salted, but they didn't have those. Let me just dump it out on my lap. These are heavily salted, Trace. Okay, so let's talk jobs, shall we? I don't think I've ever gotten into this discussion with you guys. So, I have been working in my current job for, gosh, 12 years? Does that sound right? I guess so. I'm 32, so that would have put me about 20, yeah. That's the longest I held a job up until that point. So I was one of those people, let me have a bite because I'm dying. And I am sitting in a parking lot looking out at a very busy intersection. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm right across the street from Target. All Jersey Mike's tuna is not created equal. This is the Jersey Mike's that's closest to my house. And the tuna, this might sound gross, but the tuna is nice and thick and not drippy or gooky or juicy. The other one, it's always liquidy. I don't like that. I eat it. Don't mishear me. Okay, so jobs. I've always been one of those people that's worked. I started working when I was 15. Because I liked having extra money. And this is going to sound terrible, but I think that I vividly remember lying on an application saying that I was 16. I don't remember. Anyway, the job requirement is that you were 16. I was 15. I was a few months shy, but I think I fibbed. And I worked at, are you ready for this? Are you ready? A water purification little small town place in right almost next door to me, basically down the 2 minutes down the road. I was a telemarketer, y'all. Thank you for calling Superior Waterworks. Superior Waterworks. And I called people doing water surveys where I asked them questions about their water, but really it was just a ploy to sell them a $5,000 water softening unit. How many of those do you think that I sold? Not too many. This was back in the day, y'all, when there was internet but barely. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm in that generation where I can still remember that. Like, we had internet. I didn't have internet for a long, long time. But then when I was like 16 or so, like, we had it, but it was 56K. It was dial-up. So you couldn't really check in on companies. That place has long shut down, so it was probably a sham. But I've always been good with people, and I've been good on the phone. So after that job, I'm trying to think of just the telemarketing jobs I did. I sold water purification softeners. I sold mattresses on the phone. Mattresses on the phone. How do you think that worked out? Not too well either. Keep in mind, all of this was in the span of 5 years, probably. I remember one year when I was trying to do my taxes, I had like 7 W-2s from the year. Isn't that ridiculous? So I sold all that. I worked at a place called Fairfield Marketing, and I sold vacations, y'all, on the phone. And it was one of those things, that one was okay. It was sort of easy to sell vacations because you were scheduling timeshare, whatever that is, like where you go and they try to get you to buy the timeshares, and then you get like a 3-day 2-night vacation. That was okay. That wasn't terrible. I've just done it all. What else did I sell? I worked at Citigroup, CITI. I was in Home Depot Credit Services, so I was calling to collect your Home Depot bills if you didn't pay them, honey. That was an interesting job. That was a nice job. Like, I felt very established when I worked there. It was one of those large telemarketing. I mean, Citibank's still around today. But it was it was full-time. I worked split shift. It was terrible. So sometimes I would work days, sometimes I would work nights. I was going to college at the time. It was terrible. But the place was really cool. Like, they had a cafeteria in the place, and I thought, I have made it to the jackpot, honey, because my place of work has a cafeteria inside. Isn't that pathetic? But I vividly remember thinking that. So I worked there. One of my very favorite jobs was that I worked at a hometown local video rental store. How many of y'all remember the video rental stores? Now, I'm not even talking about Blockbuster, honey. We had a Blockbuster. But this was Video Magic. This was a local chain. And there were, I think, at least like 5 of them. So it was somewhat established, okay? Plain Lays. Might be better than the Cheetos, y'all, maybe. Oh my gosh, that Diet Mountain Dew, I can't. So, yes, I worked at Video Magic. And oh my gosh, y'all, that job I loved that job. It was great. Now, again, this was a hometown local video store. They had a back room, y'all. They had a XXX back room, adults only, not for everybody's eyes to see. And here I was, like 17, working in a store that had a back room like that. And was open till midnight. And let me just go ahead and tell you that the people that went in and rented the movies from the back room, kind of creepy. Actually, very creepy. Actually, probably some of the creepiest people I've ever met. There were cameras back there. It was very weird. We're not even going to get into that. That's a whole nother video topic. But it was nice. I mean, it's a small town. So, I mean, there were nights that it would be so dead in there that I would just watch movies. I would make myself like a little, almost like a couch bed behind the register, and I would just watch movies. And I thought, I'm getting paid for this. It was great. Gosh, I miss those days. Y'all, comment below if you remember the video store days. Do you remember the video store days? I know this makes me sound like an old fart, but kids these days will never know the joy, the sheer joy of a video store. Of going in, picking out a movie, getting a bag of popcorn, the carpet was stained, the popcorn was terrible, but it was an experience. I mean, they don't have that anymore. We had Blockbuster. When I was growing up, honey, it was in the zenith. It was in the peak of the video rental age. I'm sorry, y'all. And I know that some of y'all that are watching this weren't even alive when VHSs were alive. They were the box, the movies in the box. They're about an inch thick and about yay big. And the box that they were in would have like a picture of the movie and like a description. Oh, it was so fun. It was so fun. And at my video store, they would have the movie behind it. They would have the sleeve with the art and like cardboard in it. And then if the actual movie was behind it in the plastic case, that means it was there. And if it wasn't there, guess what? Checked out. You don't get it. And then we had a list, like we had a call list, and we would call people when the movie came in. They'd rush over to get it. It was, I'm telling you. And it was kind of expensive back then. I vividly remember that like new releases were like $4.99 a night. Pretty expensive. Oh, and late fees. Oh my gosh, the late fees. So say you come in and you want to rent Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Well, last time you came in, you rented Mrs. Doubtfire and you didn't return it on time, and you got a $37 late fee because it was 17 days late. And you couldn't rent a movie till you paid your late fee. So that was always fun, trying to enforce that. I want you to imagine that if you could, please. Excuse me, y'all, it's carbonation. So yes, the video store. Let me know about your memories of the video store. Where did you rent movies from? And did you love it? I'm trying to think if I worked anywhere else before the YMCA. Oh my gosh, y'all. I know what I'm forgetting to tell you because I've blocked it out of my mind. Your homeboy was a cashier at the Kmart. Big K, baby. And I want you to imagine 330-pound Tyler in a tucked-in polo, khakis that were too short, and black tennis shoes. Black tennis shoes. You want to talk about a walking disaster. It was terrible. I do not have fond memories of that job. At all, at all. And then on a whim, I applied at the YMCA when I was finishing up my college to become a teacher in the after-school program. Got hired, I did after school / summer day camp for 3 years, 4 years. Then started working at the front desk of the YMCA gym, fitness facility, and then it kind of snowballed from there. Now my full-time job's there, and I've been there for 12 years. 11 years or 12? We'll say 12. So yes. What do you think about that? But guess what, honey? A job's a job, and I have always worked. I will say that for myself. I've always worked and loved it. Onion. So let me know some of your part-time jobs below that you worked and can't believe that you worked. I can't believe I worked at Kmart. I still can't believe that. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just can't believe that I did it, and then I wore a tucked-in polo shirt and black shoes. I worked in the mall. I'm telling you, I had a million jobs. I worked in the mall at a cookie store. For a couple of years. That was way before the health train came to me, so it was not good that I was working at the cookie store. It wouldn't be good now if I was working at the cookie store. And let's see, is that all? I think that's it. That was my only other job, the cookie store in the mall. The telemarketing days were kind of a blur because none of them lasted very long. Any of my jobs lasted that long. Because you know, when you're growing up, you just kind of float around with part-time jobs while you're going to school. And y'all are caught up to speed. That was delicious and exactly what I wanted. I was sitting at home and there was absolutely nothing, and I was like, just get out of the house and go get something. Alright, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. You know I love you and I mean it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Help me share these videos on your social media platforms. I would adore it. Find me on social media. Speaking of, TRamey1 on Instagram, Tyler Ramey on Facebook, Tyler Ramey YouTube on Facebook. I love you and I mean it. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.